Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. Your purchase and pricing email question line for your questions about the price of this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. It's your online concierge, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. Today we're discussing a model 41.5 millimeters in stainless steel, launched in 2004, and only actually built for 4 model years. This is the Jaeger-LeCoultre Master Compressor Dualmatic, a dual-time diving watch in rare form with full factory bracelet. This was the best of JLC sports watch design and engineering in the mid-2000s. You can see that the timepiece is 41.5 millimeters in diameter by 13.6 millimeters thick. It's 49.6 millimeters from lug to lug, but if you include the solid end links to the bracelet, it is 54.7 millimeters across the wrist with a 21 millimeter spacing between the lugs. We'll zoom out a little bit, put this watch on my 16 centimeter circumference wrist. It fits nicely. I owned this same case in platinum on my Grand Memovox. That fit well, and that was a thicker and heavier watch than this. This is actually low enough to fit underneath the dress cuff. That's a surprise, but also a fact. From over the top, you can see it's not really near the edge of my wrist, and especially down the barrel, you can see I've got a little bit of clearance. I could probably wear this watch on a wrist as small as 15 centimeters circumference with the bracelet in place. On a strap, 14 centimeters circumference. Taking a look at the bracelet, it's definitely something you will want. JLC making its own cases, clasps, and bracelets. You can see that they are nicely made. This is a 5-link design with polished shoulders, polished outer faces, satin intermediate links. Then you can actually see that the edges of the intermediate links, they're beveled all the way around and polished, which is a really nice and subtle contrast. You will note pins, sleeves, used to fix the removable links in place, so you will need a block and a punch to size this bracelet. But on the underside, big calculated gaps to avoid pinching skin, pulling hair, or trapping wrist heat. Now, the buckle. It is a double fold quadruple trigger, so it's going to stay shut when you close it. You have to depress all 4 triggers to pop it open, and then on each side you have a 2.5 millimeter adjustment system that is much like the Rolex Easy Link. So you have 2.5 millimeters of adjustability, folds in, folds out on both sides, 5 millimeters of total adjustment. You have those micro adjusts, so you can go half and half, or all out, or all in. The case is simple but strong. The lugs are tall and sheer, but they're also narrow when you look at them from head on. They have a nice little taper and a very subtle bevel along their side. The case band is polished. The bezel is stepped back somewhat to reduce the visual mass. It's conical in profile. And then we have the compressor crowns. 1/2 turn, and now I have access to, in this case, my internal rotating dive bezel. And it's like the Polaris. It features an internal rotating bezel. Then you push the crown back down. Red, you're dead. White, you're tight. It's a very simple color-coded system. It actually extends the life of the crown seals, and it is a system that is far easier to use with wet, sweaty, or gloved hands than a conventional shouldered screw-down crown. You also have a separate crown down at 4 o'clock, and that allows you to wind the watch, as well as exercise some of the subsidiary functions of the watch, such as the second time zone. You can see that I'm able to hide that second time zone when I do not need it. Now we have a secondary indication that you can use in lieu of the hands at center, and you can see there is a red index that allows you to keep track of a second time zone in a 24-hour format. Now, of course, you also have hacking or stop seconds, and you can see that the indices as well as the numerals are of the same design used, the typeface used for the Polaris 1968 variant. The dial is a matte black, and it's got a little bit of a concave profile with several different focal planes. This dial and the watch itself designed by Magali Maitre back when she was with JLC in her 20s. You can see the case back with a solid gold medallion attesting to this watch's having completed the Master 1000 hours control, 41.67 days of chronometry, shock resistance, water resistance, winding efficiency, and power reserve. It was one of the first in-house tests to exceed the COSC. All of this 100 meters water resistant, and it uses one of JLC's newest movement architectures. Back in the 2000s, the 975 Auto Tractor was a big deal, their purpose-built sports watch movement. Well, this version is the 972, automatic unidirectional winding with ceramic rotor bearings, 48-hour power reserve, 4 Hz beat rate, 29 joules, dual time capability. It has a full balance bridge for shock resistance, and it's free sprung for the same reason and for precise regulation using a variable inertia balance or a variable polar moment balance. All of that And this 100-meter automatic winding steel sports watch is very nicely loomed. For the Master Compressor Dualmatic, reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.